Hello, welcome to Exotic Gardening UK, Yorkshire Kris Weekly, and on this week's episode I'm going to show you how to set up a full irrigation system for your garden to make watering a lot easier. So I'm going to show you how to set up the full system in the garden, and the first thing you need to do is get your supply from the house and get it down the garden. So normally you'll have an outdoor tap. Now you can either leave that tap in place and get a plumber to do an extension via a copper pipe, or what I've done, as you can see, is I've cut off the outdoor tap completely at the copper pipe, and I've used a fitting, a copper to plastic push fit fitting, to allow me then to extend the water supply down the garden. You can get various types of fittings. You can get compression fittings, you can get push fit fittings as well, and each type you can get various different brands. I'm using the place-on ones in my garden, and before I go any further, I am not a plumber, I'm not a trained plumber at all, but this system that I'm showing you in the garden I set up 5-6 years ago. There is dozens and dozens of cuts and joints and connections in this system, and I've had no leaks or bust pipes or any issues whatsoever. So it's pretty straightforward to do because the fittings are really good. So you need to think about how big your garden is. If you've got a long garden, you need that pipe going from your outdoor supply to the end of the garden, and I've done that along the fence line all the way down from the back of from the front to the back of the garden. There's a couple of places where I wanted taps on the other side of the garden, so what I've done is dug a trench across the width of my garden to bury the pipe and do connectors and taps on the other side of the garden. So you need to think where you need your water supplies and how many you're going to need, because you can attach normal taps or you can attach the micro irrigation system that I'm going to show you as well. So I've got, like I said, I think I've got 3 or 4 taps in my back garden, each with sort of dual splitters on to have either hose pipes or micro irrigation. I'm just going to show you a few of the fittings we've got. So I've got the mdpe plastic pipe, and that's the same sort of pipe that the water companies use to supply your house with. You normally see it in blue form. I'm using a black one. It's exactly the same, although the black ones allow you to have it on the surface in direct sunlight as well as underground, whereas the blue pipe should only really be used underground, which is out of sunlight. And we've got that from one end to the other with a stopper, push fit fitting stopper at the very end of that pipe to stop obviously water gushing out. Now, once we've got the pipes put in place, I'll show you how to do that. What we need to do then is add our taps, and I've done a video for that as well. And to get the micro irrigation, what we do is we use a thinner sort of pipe. So the one coming out is 25mm supply pipe down the garden, and then we've got this 15mm plastic pipe. It's a bit more flexible, but you will need connectors to go around corners on this as well. And this can be used to add either thinner pipe like this. This is really flexible stuff. This is the type of pipe I use to go up tree ferns and to go around sort of tricky areas, and you can use it to go up walls to feed hanging baskets as well with water. And this is, like I said, the more rigid stuff that's going to go either on the surface, on the soil, or underground if you wish as well. But just be careful if you put this underground that you're not going to be chopping through it, because although it's pretty rigid, it will cut through if you hit it really hard with a spade or something like that. So I have this on the surface, and then I have this micro irrigation going off. And all you do basically with this, obviously you can cut it with some pipe cutters, get it to the right length, lay it out to your plan, your design, to your space, and then we can use a special device to punch holes in this pipe, and we can add drippers like this that basically just puncture a hole. You can press it in, and that will then spill out water in a circular fashion, or we can punch the hole and put in one of these stakes, and that would go into this pipe like so. You'd put this in the ground around where you want the water to go with your plants, and then you have a little valve on here to turn it on and off, and that will change the flow of the water coming out of these sprayers. And these sprayers come with different size slits on as well, so you can have ones that go 90-degree spray, 180-degree spray, or full 360 spray as well. And I've got various ones in various areas. The 90 and 180-degree ones I have at the side of paths, and they'll spray towards the plants. And then the 360 ones I've got in the middle of beds to do water in all directions. But mainly what I do use are these little drippers to give precise watering exactly where the plants need it at ground level for those plants. And like I said, these can go directly into the main pipe or flexible pipe as well. Just to show you one of the fittings here I was talking about, these are dead easy to fit, so I'll show you here how to do that. They've basically got little barbs on these rigid plastic fittings. This is obviously for a 90-degree a T section. You can get 90-degree ones. You can get connectors just to connect two pieces of this pipe, or you can get stoppers just to finish off the end as well. And all you do, you want this relatively warm. You wouldn't want to do this on a very cold day because it would be too rigid. And all you do is push this in. So you just press it in as far as you can. I like to twist it around while I'm pushing it. And there we are. You're going right to the edge there. And you can see it presses out the plastic there, and that is pretty tight. And that's a good waterproof seal. And there we can add up more pipes and carry on doing our configuration around the garden. I will add, come winter, you need to turn off your outdoor tap and then drain your system so you don't have water freezing in the pipes over winter, expanding and possibly cracking pipes or coming loose. So you need to drain your system. Okay, so let me show you how to actually attach an outdoor tap to this mdpe water pipe. I've had a push fit in this location for a number of years, and I've just twisted it off with a special wrench, and that's allowed me to get this off. Normally you're not able to do so because it's so tightly put on, but you can loosen the collar to be able to do this. Now the fitting normally looks like this. So that ring there is this part here. This is the inner clamp that clamps onto the actual pipe. We've got a pipe liner to stop it being crushed at the top as well. And so this is it disassembled, and I'm going to show you how to add all this together. I've obviously turned the water supply off in the house so there's no water coming out. We've attached the tap already onto the end of the fitting. And now we're just going to screw all this back up. So that is locked in position there. We're going to put this so it's facing the right way because we're going to attach it here like so. And then we're just going to screw all this back together. So now I've pushed that on there. I just need to finish off screwing this part which we disassembled just to make it nice and tight. So a nice secure join. There we go. Then we just need to stick it onto the wall with the shoulder part just onto there and screw it in. And then we have an outdoor tap where we need it in the garden. Now before I actually screw this onto the wall, I've just put the water supply on just to make sure we've got no leaks around here, and there's no any water around the collar here, nothing around the pipe here. So I think we're good to go. I'll just check the water works, and it does, and that goes off. So we can just screw that to the wall. So off my supply pipe that's running all the way down the fence line from the start of the house all the way to the bottom of the garden at various points, what I've done is added a tap. And I've done a video of how I've added a tap from the main supply line to these points in a different video. Did that a few years ago. It's not the best quality, but I'll do a link to that in the corner and in the description below so you can see how to actually add the tap. And what this allows is, by adding several taps down on the supply line, it means we can put 1 tap adapters or 2 tap adapters on there, and then we can add various extra things such as pressure reducers, which you do need really in order to do the next stage, which is doing the micro irrigation, or you can do a general tap point off this just to use a hose pipe from this part of the garden. Here I've got one divider here, so I've got one with a pressure reducer and micro irrigation pipe, and we'll move on to that in a second. And I've left the other one just so I can add a hose pipe or an extension and then water manually in this part of the garden if I wish to. But from this point onwards, we've then got a pipe. So I'll show you what we've got. Got this smaller supply pipe, and this will connect onto here like so and screw that on, and then from this pipe we move on to the actual mini irrigation system of sprinklers and drippers as well. So I'll show you that in a bit more detail. So here you can see that micro irrigation pipe work going along here, and in it at this point I've actually put directly into this feeder pipe, I've put these mini little sprayers, and this will just gently trickle water in the very close area here, and I've put 2 here around this bamboo, and I've got many further along the line as well. You do have to be careful, there is a limit depending on how much water you can get through the pipe of how many drippers you can actually put along a length of the pipe. There's only so much water obviously inputting into the pipe system, so you can't have millions of these, but these here you probably can get easy sort of 20 or 30 along a run on one supply of water. So here, as you can see, it's just gently dripping out the water, and further along the same line I've also got some in my tree ferns as well off a thinner pipe. I'll show you that now. So here you can see that thinner supply pipe here, which is running off the main supply pipe via a connection, and off this I've connected the micro irrigation pipe, so it's thinner than this one, and these then allow the pipes to go up to the top of my tree ferns here, and at the top, at the end of these, we have mini drippers that feed directly into the crowns of the tree ferns. And here you can see that dripper in action on the tree fern trunk off that mini supply pipe. And as you can see, actually this one needs extending now because the tree fern's grown a bit taller. I need to get a longer length of pipe and place this further up in the crown. But this shows you how flexible it is. For this supply pipe, like I said, the micro irrigation, you can change it about, and it's going all the way down here around the garden, up all these different tree ferns. You see the supply pipes there, you can see more there as well. So it's very flexible. If you do put a hole in the wrong place of the micro irrigation, you can get some little black stoppers which you can put in there to basically patch up the holes if you decide to place the micro irrigation in a different part. So that's how I set up my irrigation system in my garden. If you have any questions about this, obviously I went through quite a lot, but I didn't show everything in super detail. Put it in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, it helps out a lot. And please comment away if there's anything I've missed. Thank you for watching this edition of Exotic Gardening UK. Join me next week where I'll be doing more in the garden.